I want to take a brief exit from what we've been talking about in terms of if statements and while loops and code blocks and talk about imports. If you're familiar with C# and C++, you can import items either through includes or including namespaces, and Python has the ability to include libraries as well. In Python, it's called importing modules, and that is done through the import keyword. Now, we're not going to go through the exercise of building modules, building inits right now, but what I want you to be aware of is there's another number of libraries besides the standard library functions that you use, like print, input, length, string, integer conversions. But there's many other libraries, and before each lab, we're either going to be importing libraries that come with Python, or we're going to be installing some new libraries that you'll use that really add on to the functionality of the Python language. So sometimes you'll be asked to add in a module or import a module, and I want to show you what that is. So to import a module, you use the import keyword. So let's say we want to generate a random number. What we can do is import the random module. So how do we do that? We type in the word import, and in this case for the random module, type in the word random. Now, when you've imported the random module, you get a whole slew of new functionality, new functions, new classes that you can use. So for instance, if we want to print a random integer between, let's say, 1 and 10, we can use the rand_int function. So for instance, random.randint, and if we take a look at it, it says here return a random integer in a range a comma b, including both endpoints. So if we type in 1, 10, that will mean a number between 1 and 10, including 1 and 10 as well. And let's say we want to print that to the screen. We can use the built-in function print. And there you go. So let's save this file, and we will run Python imports.py and generate a random number. If we want to use our knowledge of for loops or while loops, let's use a while loop. We'll create a variable called counter equals 0. While counter is less than 10, print a random number, and then increase the counter. And save that file. So now it should print 10 different random numbers. So let's go ahead and run this. There we go. Looks like 1. If you would have picked 1, would have hit that 3 times. So simple. I know that we're not studying while loops in this video, but I wanted to show you how import worked. Let's say you want to exit the program early. I know we talked about break before to exit a while loop, but for instance, there's an exit method that you can import from the sys module. So let's import sys, and then let's say after the 5th random number, we just want to exit the program. So if counter equals, I guess that would be 4, since we're starting at 0, sys.exit. And this will just end the application altogether. So if we save this and run it again, now we only printed 5 numbers when counter was 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the application exited. So the sys module is another example of a module that you can import that has additional functionality. If you saw when I was typing the word exit, and again, this is why IDEs like Visual Studio Code are great, because you can type in a dot and explore the various functions and objects that a module exposes. So really interesting, cool stuff. Imports are great, and it really adds and augments the functionality of the built-in functions in Python. So I encourage you to explore the Python documentation on python.org, explore your book. But again, imports are extremely powerful, especially once you get into more advanced Python, building your own modules, building that functionality. Making modules that you can reuse over and over in your projects is a very powerful tool.